Hi, I'm Alexi Freeman, and I'm a 2000 Hord Scholar Award winner. I'm currently working at the University of Denver Sturm College of Law as an Associate Professor of the Practice and Director of Externships and Public Interest Initiatives. I wanted to make a video for you all to sort of talk a little bit about my journey and how I've landed in this role. I've written down some notes to try to remember because I have a very busy day today, so I apologize in advance for having to glance down a bit. Well, my professional journey really started as a young child when I was sitting around the table talking about things around racial justice, social justice, given that I grew up in Danbury, a very multicultural place, and given that I have a multiracial background. It was really the Hord Foundation that truly launched my professional career. Having that scholarship proved to be incredibly valuable for me, as I traveled down to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill for undergrad. When you want to be a social justice lawyer, a scholarship can make a tremendous impact. For example, I was able to pursue multiple unpaid public service internships throughout college because I had that cushion. I worked at the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights, a very different place then than it is now. I worked at the National Conference for Community and Justice. I completed a Harvard University summer fellowship. These positions all exposed me to the practice of law, where I am now, and allowed me to really understand where it is I ultimately wanted to be. With the financial scholarship gave me an opportunity to lead by passion and lead by my heart versus having to worry about my purse strings every summer. I also believe that because I worked at all these places, I became a viable candidate for admission to Harvard Law School. HLS truly prepared me to live out my dream as a social justice lawyer. I got to learn from renowned professors. I spent summers in New York and DC working for places like the ACLU and others to really strengthen my understanding of social justice practice, of racial justice advocacy, and of public interest law. I ultimately landed upon graduation after being really immersed in all things racial justice and public interest at my institution at a national nonprofit organization called the Advancement Project. Here I supported grassroots organizations on campaigns around education, juvenile justice, housing, voting rights. I reformed school discipline in Baltimore City and the state of Maryland. I supported poll workers in battleground states in the Obama election time. I helped to try and reopen public housing in post-Katrina New Orleans. These were all experiences in which I was on the ground, lawyering, litigating, working in community education, and really doing work that I believe is important to upend the power dynamics and structural racism that our society continues to have. I also met my husband in my organization. We now have two children, Che, named after freedom fighter Che Guevara, and Charlie Ella, named after the Charles Hamilton Houston, who is a civil rights lawyer dedicated to ending Jim Crow, and the incomparable Ella Baker. About 6 years ago, I left the practice of law full-time to join Denver Law, where I am now. Here, I'm trying to grow the next generation of social change agents. I get to teach some really awesome classes, like the Youth Rights Workshop, where students learn how to give Know Your Rights presentations to Black and Brown middle and high school youth. I teach social change learning to show students the survey of public interest practice. I teach a critical race reading seminar to blend law and literature. And I also oversee over 400 students a year who complete externships for credit, so they can go, like I did, and learn what it actually looks like and feels like to be a lawyer. I absolutely love my job, and I feel like I am exactly where I need to be. One of the intangible things I'm trying to do here, though, also is to build community. I believe that having community, having camaraderie, getting support from others is absolutely critical to having a successful law practice. I think this is even more important when you are a student of color in a predominantly white institution and you are a student pursuing public interest in most law schools that are designed for corporate practice. Community is what gave me the energy, the focus, and the drive to continue fighting the good fight, while many of my classmates didn't look like me and many of my classmates pursued different work paths. Thus, I am trying to do the same thing here with my current students. I believe that the Hord Foundation is a similar community. I'm just sad that I live so far away, so I can't be a part of that community every day. Ultimately, I believe we have a duty to give back. We have a duty to promote justice. We have a duty to be mentors, We have a duty to grow the next generation. We have a duty to support people who look like us and provide opportunities and access. Whether it's giving money or it's giving time or it's having a conversation over coffee. I really hope that myself, along with you all, can continue to help each other get in these spaces and provide support for the next generation. I will be forever grateful to the Hord Foundation for opening up doors and providing access, and I wish you celebration at this event.